a very happy Pongal. I hope you're all having a good festival time and break time with everybody at home and with your friends and family. So it's about time. So let's get started with our session. I'm going to share my screen. If you're not required to talk, I suggest that you go into mute. That way I don't have to mute everyone. Thank you. Okay, so can everyone see my screen?
Yes, sir.
So do you guys see the Ramayanam?
Yes, sir.
Okay, excellent. So let's get started with our. Go ahead. Somebody has a question?
Sir, I can see the session 21.
Okay, now you should be seeing prayer to Lord Ganesha.
Okay.
Are you seeing
I
that?
can see
Okay.
this. Sir.
Okay, let's get started with our prayers then. First, a prayer for Lord Ganesha. Please sing along with me. Vakratunda Mahakaya Koti Surya Samaprabha Nirvighnam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Dakshine Lakshmano Yasya Vame Tu Janakatmaja Purato Marutiryasya Tam Vande Raghunandanam Kujantam Rama Rameti Madhuram Madhuraksharam Aruhya Kavita Shakham Vande Valmiki Kokilam Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurudevo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Excellent work. So now let's get started with our story segment of the session. So last session we had the Kahoot. The previous session before that we concluded the Sundara Kanda episode of Ramayanam, which is the 5th episode, and now we are entering into the 6th episode. So during that end of Sundara Kanda, we saw that Hanuman successfully completed his task of meeting Sita Devi, giving the message, and returning back after meeting and giving the message to Ravana also, that to make peace and to correct his mistakes, and then returning back to his team and to Kishkinda and conveying the message to Rama. So that is where we have concluded the session of Sundara Kanda, and now we are going to start the 6th chapter, which is the Yudha Kanda. Yudha means battle. So as the name suggests, this is the battle episode. So we all know who the battle is between. So we are going to see the start of the Yudha Kanda in this session. So last episode I told you the beginning of Yuddha Kanda is when Rama warmly embraces Hanuman. Normally, Rama is always about graceful gratitude. When he gives gratitude, it's always in exchange of deeds, right? So he, for Sugriva, for Kabanda, for Sabari, for everybody, he does tasks to help them, and in return, he also get the tasks done. But in case of Hanuman, he got up from his throne or from his seat. I use the word throne, but it is not actually throne, gold throne that we see, because he is in a forest. But wherever he is the king, and whatever he sits on, even if it is a rock, it is a throne, right? So he gets up out of respect for Hanuman and what he has accomplished. He warmly embraces him and he says, "This is a help that you have done that I cannot repay. What I'm going to do is digest this help within me, and I will always be grateful to you, and I extend my friendship to you in exchange. And you, my friend, are equal to my own brother Bharata from now on." So that is the kind of honor that Hanuman got for the task, the impossible task that he has accomplished, the friendship and the warm embrace of Rama. So that marks the beginning of Yuddhakanda. So if you think about it, this is all about the battle, this is all about fighting violence, right? See how nice opening this is, a warm friendship and a very nice relationship between Rama and Hanuman. So great way to start Yuddhakanda, the episode, 6th episode. So then Hanuman briefs everybody, including Sugriva, all the army chiefs, what he has seen in Lanka, how to go to Lanka once they all reach Lanka, what to expect in Lanka. So in all these, when they build all these big palaces and the capital cities, what they do is they look for a strategic location where there is lots of water around, there is lots of mountains around, and there is natural protection to the place itself. So same thing, Lanka is located in such a place that it is not easily approachable by enemies or anybody. There is ocean, but that people have to cross to go there. Once they cross, there are big mountains surrounding the actual city itself. So very, very hard city to enter into, especially for a battle to penetrate into the city. It's not easy. So Hanuman, he noticed all of those, the structures, how to enter into the city, which way to go to the main fort. So he explained and briefed all of those things to Rama and his team and all the commanders. So what they can do is, so they're all experts in different things, right? So they will start strategizing. Somebody will start strategizing about how to mobilize all the units, how to move them forward. One person will start strategizing about what kind of food arrangements to make, because there are like crores and crores, millions and millions of monkeys and bears, and along with Rama and Lakshmana going along. So there needs to be travel arrangements, right? And it's not like they're going on a pleasure trip to a vacation. So they have to be very vigilant for enemy attacks. So they have to strategize all those things, where to stop. When they stop, which teams will be watching and protecting while which teams will be resting. Where will they get the food from? Who is going to cook? How will they take all the food supplies? Where will they get the water from? So he told all these things so that they can start strategizing about how to go to Lanka. And Rama, he immediately started, because he's an expert of battle strategies, travel, forests, he knows all these things, right? So he immediately put a plan together. He called upon Sugriva, his chief commanders, everybody. He looked up a nice, good, auspicious day to begin this great occasion, to begin this great mission that they are embarking upon, which they are going to accomplish. So they said, okay, on this particular day, we are going to start from here, all our armies. And before we start from here, two teams will go ahead of us and they will make all arrangements for us. They will check the area is pristine. They will check whether it is good for us to stay there. They will check for enemy movement there. They will check if there are any spies there. So, to give you a small example, so crores and crores, millions and millions of soldiers are going. Once they go there, they will look for a nearby river or a lake or a pond to drink some water, to rest a little bit, to take a shower, all these things, right? So if the enemy spies get wind or get the information of where they are going to stop, which way they are going to go, what if they poison that pond? What if they poison that lake? What if they cause trouble by creating some natural hazardous things and some things like armies or soldiers there to ambush? So they have to be very vigilant and very protective of all these things, watchful of all these things. And two teams go ahead of the main armies so that they can watch for all these things. They can make sure none of these things are happening, and they can make sure of the protection and safety of the main army. Along with Rama, Lakshmana, Sugriva, ministers, Angad, and all the chief commanders. So they all started, as you can imagine, crores and crores and crores of army. They are marching. So you can imagine the earth started shaking with their movement, and they are all very big, muscular. They are all on big soldiers and monkeys and bears. So as they are walking, all the people together, earth started vibrating. They're shaking everywhere. The trees started shaking, and in that great moment, they are all walking towards the ocean where they have to cross to Lanka. And to make it comfortable for the king and for the friends of the king, Sugriva, he traveled in a palanquin, people carried him, the soldiers carried him so that he doesn't have to walk. Hanuman, he carried Rama on his shoulder, and Angad carried Lakshmana on his shoulder so that they don't have to walk and they can travel comfortably. And remember, they're not normal soldiers. They're very, very, very strong. Carrying them is no big deal at all. In the future episodes, you will see that Hanuman easily uproots a full mountain. The mountain Sanjeevani, he uproots the entire mountain and he carries it on his left hand. So that is the power and strength of Hanuman. So this is no big deal for him at all, right? So they started traveling towards the ocean and everything is going great. All the armies are pumped up. They're full of energy. They're chanting names of Hanuman, Rama, Sugriva. They're saying Jai Srirama, Jai Sugriva, Jai Hanuman. And they're marching towards the ocean. And everything is going as per the plan. And then, meanwhile, like we discussed, right, there is spies. Enemy spies, that is, they're watching all the time. As soon as the teams mobilized and started in Kishkinda, Ravana, even though he says all these things that nobody can cross the ocean and nobody is strong enough to battle me, this is never going to happen, he's scared inside. That is the reason why he went to the ashram when nobody was there. When Rama and Lakshmana, he had to devise a big plan to take them away from the ashram and disguise himself and go to the ashram. So he knows that he cannot stand in front of Rama and Lakshmana, their bravery, and he cannot battle them on a one-on-one basis, right? So he put spies to watch the teams, to watch Hanuman, to see what is happening in Kishkinda. So they all realized that the armies have mobilized and they're traveling in the south direction. So immediately they traveled back to Lanka and they gave the information to Ravana. Hey, great king, so the teams, all the armies, and not a small army, thousands and thousands of crores of monkeys and bears, they all look like everybody is one Hanuman. Everybody looks equally strong and everybody looks equally muscular and energetic as the monkey that we saw when he came to the Ashoka garden and devastated and destroyed the entire garden. So Hanuman is the monkey that came. You guys remember in Sundarakanda, right? So immediately Ravana, he realized that a battle is going to ensue soon and they're going to come to the ocean. But one thing he's not sure about is how they're going to cross the ocean. He's still confident that nobody will be easily able to cross the ocean and come towards Lanka. So he started asking for advice from all his chief ministers and the chief of armies. So all of them, they're all like yes men. Whatever Ravana says, they'll all be like, yes sir, yes sir. Now it doesn't matter whether it is right or wrong. They don't have a judgment of their own. So that's why that is the difference. In these episodes, they will show what is happening in Ravana's court. Parallelly, in the next scene, you will see what happens in Rama's court. So you can see the difference between the ruling of Ravana, how people surrounded around Ravana are destroying him, and how people surrounded by Rama are getting benefited and they are benefiting their team also. So you will see that benefits and you will see that differences very clearly. So it tells us what kind of people we should hang out with, what we should observe when we are talking to people also. So they are all like, they always want to be on the good books of Ravana. They don't want to say anything bad or wrong about his decisions. So they all got up and said, oh, what are you talking about? You're the strongest, you're the bravest, you're the toughest. Let them come, we will battle, we will rule them, we will destroy them. So nobody has the judgment to say, look, one monkey, he came and he destroyed an entire city. We couldn't do anything. We couldn't even stop him. He went back at his own leisure and at his own luxury. We had no say in it and we couldn't even stop him. And now an entire army is coming. Isn't it time for us to be careful? And what are you doing? Why are you putting an entire city, your family, your friends, your armies, all in jeopardy and all in danger? For what? For your greed to do a wrong thing, to marry somebody who's already somebody's wife. That itself is a wrong thing. For that greed, you are putting all of our lives in danger. Is that fair? Nobody has the daring, nobody has the courage to stand up and question that. One person in that court has that courage. He is the younger brother of Ravana, Vibhishana. You all remember where we heard about Vibhishana's interaction with Ravana, right? When Hanuman came into the court of Ravana and Ravana told his men to punish Hanuman by killing him, Vibhishana got up and he explained the rule book to Ravana. He said messengers should never be punished by death penalty. Punish him in any other way, but death penalty will bring bad credit to you. So he was in a good mood then. Normally Ravana is not somebody who would listen to somebody else's advice, right? But then he was in a good mood. He said, okay, I understand. And he heard him then. But now again, Vibhishana is going to get up and he's going to give a very, very, very good advice to Ravana. He got up and he said, remember Ravana, you're doing a wrong thing by bringing Sita Devi here and wanting to marry her, who is already a wife of Srirama. For that, what are you trying to do? Why are you putting up this battle which will put all of your teams, all of your armies in danger? We are one of the best cities, one of the best kingdoms with everything that God has given us. We have all the riches, wealth, food, all the luxuries that we can think of. And you want to compromise all of those luxuries, all of the benefits that we have, all of the blessings that we have. For what? For your greed, for your wrong want of marrying Sita Devi. So why don't you change your mind for the benefit of everybody around you? Take Sita back to Rama. Ask for forgiveness. And I assure you, Rama will forgive you and he will forget it. So by that, you will be saving all of your people. You will be saving both armies from a big battle. He told this great advice. Ravana, he immediately got very, very, very angry. He got up from his throne again. That's why everybody around him, he is not receptive to a good advice. He cannot listen to anybody. So many people until now, how many people gave this good advice to him? Beginning with Maricha in Kanda. After that, Sita Devi, Vibhishana, Mandodari, everybody gave this great advice to Ravana. But it's just not in his nature to be receptive, to listen and understand the situation, right? So he immediately got very angry and he started accusing Vibhishana of treachery. Treachery means cheating or spying. He said, you are in my team and you have the you have the courage of giving an advice to me in favor of my enemy. And you're talking very, very favorable to Rama as if he is the only courageous warrior and as if I am not a courageous warrior who can win the battle and who can win the war with Rama. So this is not acceptable, and as a king, I can punish you for this offense. But since you are my brother, I am being very tolerant with you. And this is my decision, because I am the king of Lanka, that we are going to go to this battle and we are going to win this battle. So he was very furious and he gave this decision to the entire court, to all his armies and to Vibhishana. So Vibhishana was very, very, very upset with all the accusations, not for the decision that Ravana took, but for the accusations that he has put on him. They saying that he is the spy and he is not in favor of the demon clan and demon community, and he is showing favor to Rama, who is the opponent. So Vibhishana was very, very hurt. He immediately, with his 4 ministers, got up from his throne and he said, wherever the right path is not chosen, I do not stay there. I am always inclined and I am always striving to do the right thing. That is what my principle is. Since you have chosen the wrong path, which I think is very wrong decision, and it is ethically wrong and it is wrong for your community also. So I cannot stay in your court anymore, and I cannot be on your side of this war because you are of the wrongdoing here. And I always choose the right side. So he said that, he got up from the court, he lifted into the air. Again, they are demon communities, so they have all these magic powers, right? So they flew into the skies and they left from the court of Ravana towards Kishkinda. So now let's take a pause here from the story and let's go deviate a little bit out of Valmiki Ramayanam and see these two are brothers, Ravana and Vibhishana are brothers. How come they're so different in their principles? How come they're so different in their behavior? What happened exactly before so that they became so different than each other, right? So now we are going to see the background of who Ravana is, who Vibhishana is, and all that details, right? So everybody knows who Lord Brahma is. He is the creator. He is one of the Trimurtis. He created all the worlds and he created all the people. So Brahma's first son, he is Pulastya Brahma. Pulastya Brahma's son is Vishravasu Brahma. Vishravasu has 4 children with his wife Kaikasi, one of his wife Kaikasi. So Ravana is the eldest of them, then it's Kumbhakarna, Vibhishana, and then Surpanaka. So if you think about it, they are the 4th generation from Lord Brahma. Pulastya, Vishravasu, and Ravana. So Lord Brahma is the great grandfather of Ravana. So how his behavior should be? So if you think about it, let's say your school principal's son, if he misbehaves in the school, everybody keeps looking at him saying, oh, school principal's son himself is behaving like this. What kind of world is this, right? This is same like this. Brahma, he is the creator of the world, so well-versed, well-scholar, like God, Lord to all the worlds. And 4th generation from Brahma is Ravana, right? So that is the background of Ravana, Kumbhakarna, and Vibhishana and Surpanaka. So what they did is, after they became of a certain age, Ravana, Kumbhakarna, and Vibhishana, they went to do tapas. All 3 of them, not Surpanaka, but Ravana, Kumbhakarna and Vibhishana. They all chose to do tapas, and they left to do very, very, very severe tapas. And they all did that. They got into the mountains, they got into a very secluded place, they gave up all the luxuries, they gave up all the pleasures of kingly luxuries, and they did tapas for years and years and years. So when Lord Brahma came and asked, what do you want? I'm very, very impressed by your tapas. Ask me any wish and I'll fulfill it. So Ravana, he said, I want the wish to be immortal. Immortal, again, we talked about it, right? All the demons, first thing they ask is no death. I should rule all the worlds for the entire time frame, and there should be no death. Whatever I do should go, and everybody should be my servants. And that's exactly what Ravana asked. Lord Brahma said, no way. I cannot give immortality to you. By nature, everybody who takes a birth should go away. So ask something else. Then Ravana said, okay, I'm going to ask a very, very smart wish so that there is no death to me. It is almost equivalent to not having death. So he listed all the creatures in all the worlds, gods, yakshas, gandharvas, kings, devas, everybody. And he said, I should not be defeated and killed by any of these creatures. So it is almost equivalent to not having death, right? In that list, he did not ask for immunity against humans and monkeys. Those are the only two creatures he left out. He looks down on them so much that he didn't think that they will cause him danger in any time. So he left out humans and monkeys, and he asked for all other creatures, and he said, I should never be in danger against any of these creatures, and I should never be defeated by them and killed by them. So Lord Brahma said, that is not complete immortality. So he said, okay, tathastu, so be it. I give you the wish. Then he goes back to his kingdom, and then he starts ruling all the kingdoms, and then he starts torturing everybody. Same old story, right? But what he didn't know is Lord Vishnu, he took the form of human. All the gods, they took the form of monkeys, and they are coming after him. There is bad and it will go away, right? So that is the story of Ravana. That is what he asked after his tapas. Then Vibhishana, then it is Kumbhakarna's turn. He wanted to ask for Indra's throne. He said, okay, I want Indra's throne. So he wanted to be king of all the gods, and instead of that, he asked for Nidra. Indra, Nidra. Nidra means sleep. So by the spelling mistake, by his pronunciation mistake, instead of the kingdom of gods, he asked for a blessing to sleep. So he used to sleep all the time. Lord Brahma gave him the wish. He said, okay, so be it. You keep sleeping whenever you want and enjoy the sleep. So then he used to sleep all 24 hours, all throughout the calendar, all month, all year. Then Ravana, he went back again and he asked Lord Brahma, he's a great boy. He did so much tapas for you and you are making him sleep all through the year. This is not fair. Then he said, okay, 6 months he will sleep, 6 months he will eat. So be it. Then he went back and he used to get up, he used to eat a lot, he used to go around his kingdom and he used to eat whatever he wanted and he used to sleep. That is his schedule. That's all Kumbhakarna ever did. Eat, sleep. That's it, right? Then comes Vibhishana. He did the great tapas just like his brothers, and pay attention to what he asks, okay? And Lord Brahma came and he asked the same thing. I'm impressed by your tapas. What do you want? Then Vibhishana, he said, always make me do the right thing. Even on a bad day, even when I'm not thinking straight, I should always be on the right side. I should never lose the sense of dharma. Dharmam is righteousness, the rule book, what Hindu scripture has given us, how we should lead our life. That is often referred to as dharma. So that is what Vibhishana asked. He didn't ask for money, he didn't ask for kingdoms, he didn't ask for any luxuries, nothing. He asked, I should always be within the rule book of dharma. No matter how tough the situation is, no matter how difficult times are, I should always do the right thing. How noble thing to ask, right? Lord Brahma was so impressed by what he asked. He said, okay, so be it. I'm going to give you the wish that you asked. You will always follow the path of Dharma. You will always be on the right side. You will always be righteous. Along with that, I give you immortality. I make you Chiranjeevi. Chiranjeevi is immortality, no death. Did he ask for it? He didn't. He said, I want to be right. I want to do the right thing. Ravana, he begged for it. He wanted to be immortal. He had a wish. He said, I want to be immortal. Brahma said, no. Vibhishana, he didn't even ask for it. He said, make me do the right thing, and he gave him immortality. So that's what good versus evil does. That is what the virtue of good, being on the right side, always choosing to do the right thing, that is what it does. Even the gods are so impressed. They give abundant wishes to people who always choose to do the right thing. And Vibhishana is the example for that, right? So that is the background of those three brothers and how they got so much strength and how they became so powerful and how they became those personalities that we are seeing in the current story, right? So that is why Vibhishana, he couldn't stay in that court anymore. If he fought the battle with Ravana, he would be on the wrong side. He would be doing an evil thing. He will be doing the wrong deed, right? As per the wish of Lord Brahma, given by Lord Brahma, he should be on the right side, and that's what Vibhishana chose to do. And imagine how difficult of a decision that must be for him. It's his own brother and a very, very, very strong king. He is just not somebody. He is Ravana, the king of all demons. He has never seen defeat before. Going up against him, challenging him and saying, I'm not going to be behind you. I'm going to go to Rama. He doesn't know much about Rama. Vibhishana, it's not like he met him, he knows that he's a god. He doesn't know any of it. All he knows is Rama is right and Ravana is wrong. He said, so be it. I'm going to go on the right side, that's it. How difficult of a situation, and he picked that choice. That's what makes Vibhishana such great personality and such great character of Ramayana. It's not at all easy. It's like we talk about that inner strength. Last week we talked about that inner strength, right? This is one of those examples. To stand up to your king, to your own brother and say, you're doing wrong, I cannot stay with you. I cannot back you on this. Instead, I'll go and fight with the enemy because he's doing the right thing. So Vibhishana, he flew along with his 4 ministers and he came to the camp of Rama, Lakshmana and all the monkeys. They were camping on the other side of the ocean. They all reached to that place where the ocean is in between where they are standing and the other side of Lanka. And they're all camping there. They're resting there so they can strategize how to cross the ocean. And Vibhishana, he flew and he came there and he told his messengers, Rama's messengers, that Vibhishana, the younger brother of Ravana, is here and he wants association with Rama. He wants friendship of Rama. Please give my message to him and bring me back his message of what his decision is. Is he going to include me in his team or not? Now the big question is on Rama's team. The own brother of Ravana, he comes just before the big battle. He wants to join in our army. Is there something conspicuous going on there? Or is there something tricky going on there? Are they trying to trick us by planting some of their people in our armies so that they can get our secrets, our strategies? They can do something from inside. So that is all thoughts that they have to think about before letting him into the team, right? So Rama, again, difference between Rama's court and Ravana's court. Ravana's court, everybody is an yes man. They all get up and say, whatever you say, you are the greatest, you are the boldest, you are the strongest. But in Rama's court, it's different. So all of them, they got up, they gave their opinion, all the chiefs. Sugriva, he was very against joining Vibhishana into the team. He said all these, he could be a spy. He is the own brother of Ravana. What if he does something from inside the our camp to jeopardize and put us all in danger? What if he takes all of our secrets and gives it back to Ravana? So he told all of these and he said, it's not wise to join him in our armies. Send him back. Or even better, imprison him here. And then everybody went around and they all gave their opinion. Rama, he didn't say any word until now. He is just taking all the input, feedback from everybody. He's processing all that information. That's what a good leader does, right? So that is the difference. Again, notice those differences between how Rama conducts his meetings and how Ravana conducts his meetings. Then last he looked at Hanuman and he said, what is your opinion, Hanuman? You already met some of these people back in Lanka. What do you say? Then he gets up and he gives his opinion. He says, out of all the people I met in Lanka, the team of Ravana, Vibhishana is the level-headed person. He knows what is right, what is wrong. When I went there, he talked about the rule book, dharma, of not punishing a messenger. He's very scholarly, very well versed with all these shastras and rule books and everything that our scriptures have taught us. So I think we can trust him, and I think he will be a great addition to our team. Forget about him being a spy, ours to give information to Ravana. He could be of great value to us, telling us some of the magics and trickeries of Ravana and his community so that we are aware of what is going on. So again, Sugriva, he got up, and this time he was a little harsh with his words. He said, I am the king of this, all these monkeys and bears, and I already opinionated saying that I'm not interested in joining Vibhishana. And this is why, and I gave the reasons also. So I don't understand why we are still discussing this. This should be a no-brainer, and this should be a very clear-cut decision to send him back. So now it is Rama's time to talk. And he got up and he said, look, I heard everything that you have to say, and I am going to tell my decision now based on the inputs that you gave me. Anybody who comes to me and says, forgive me and give me refuge, join me in your team, who asks for forgiveness, I will always forgive them. I will always join them in my team, and I will always protect them. No matter who they are, no matter what mistakes they have done. If they come to me and ask me for forgiveness, I will forgive them. Very, very great sloka by sage Valmiki at this juncture here. So this is something that we have to remember, not just part of the story, but for us also from a day-to-day perspective. He says, Sakrudyeva prapannaya tava yeva iti cha yachate abhayam sarva bhutebhyo dadami etad vratam mama. So what he's saying is, whoever comes to me and falls on my feet saying, I did this mistake, or join me in your team, I want to be associated with you, I will always be with them, I will always protect them, and I will always forgive them for their mistakes. This is a promise not to Vibhishana, not to any one person. Abhayam sarva bhutebhyo. I give assurance to all the beings, not just humans, all the beings. Sarva bhutebhyo means all the beings. So that includes us. Whatever it is that we have, whatever it is that is going on with us, all we have to do, that is the part of the puja. I keep telling, when we are doing puja, it is not just sitting loudly chanting what we want to say and then asking for a bunch of things. It is confession, it is talking, it is love. So if sir, there is something going on in your mind, be plain, and who else can we tell to? We can always talk to Rama. We can say, okay, I made this mistake yesterday, forgive me. So your heart will become light after that. And he promised that he will forgive for whatever mistakes they are, and he will protect us. And if you keep doing that day after day, you get used to this habit of going to the puja room and chanting your slokam and then telling how your day went and what you did right and what you did wrong. Slowly you'll stop doing the wrong things. Let's say you lied a couple of times. Then next day morning you go to the prayer room and you say, oh Rama, you know what I did? I went to the teacher, I lied a couple of times, I didn't do my homework, but I said I did my homework. So you do that one time. Rama said, okay, I forgive you. And then you go on with your business. Again, in a couple of weeks, you lie to your brother. You see, you have a candy in your pocket, but you said you didn't have. And then next day, again, you go to the prayer room, you said, Rama, you know what happened yesterday? I had 2 candies, but my brother asked, I lied again. I know it is wrong, forgive me. And again, 2 weeks after you went and you said, okay, today I lied to my mom. 2 weeks after you went, again you say, oh, I lied to my dad today. After that, you will feel a little conscious about lying. When you are ready to lie, when you are about to lie, oh, do I have to do this now? Because tomorrow I have to go to the prayer room and tell this to Rama. Why go through all that? I won't even lie. You will get to a place where you will say, I won't even put myself in a place where I have to go and confess to Rama in my prayer tomorrow. That is what it does. It corrects the behavior. So that is prayer, that is puja, that is what we are looking to do when we are doing chanting these stotras and when we are sitting in our prayer room. We are reflecting upon ourselves, right? So that is the great example of Rama warmly embracing the friendship, even if they are enemies. When they are ready to ask for forgiveness, when they are ready to join the team of Rama. So he gave that assurance and he called Vibhishana, he welcomed him into the team and he asked, join the team and tell us everything that you know about Ravana and the great city of Lanka. Then Vibhishana and Rama, they talked for a long time about all the strategies, all the city, everything, the armies. And then Rama, again, he started talking to all his associates, friends, and the chief commanders. Then he said, now the big task in our hand, in front of us, is to cross the ocean. How do we cross the ocean? Any ideas? I welcome the ideas. Again, see, this is how a good leader conducts his meeting. So he's asking for ideas. He's saying, oh, how do you want to strategize this? So Vibhishana, he got up and he said, Lord, the ocean god, or Lord Varuna, the Samudra Deva, he is the Lord of the oceans. So what we can do is, we can pray to him. Why don't you put a mat in front of the ocean and pray to Lord of the ocean, who is called a Samudra Deva, and ask him for a path, for an idea to cross the ocean, for the great task, for the great deed that you are going upon. Then Vibhishana, he gave that idea to Rama. Rama really liked that idea. He said, okay, before doing anything else, let's first ask the god of water, the god of oceans, Samudra Deva, what his opinion is. So he spread a mat in front of the ocean and he sat there and started praying to Samudra Deva. He did that for 3 days. But no information or no whereabouts of Samudra Deva. He did not come, he did not talk, he did not give any ideas, or he did not give any hints of how this can be accomplished. So the teams, you can imagine how restless the teams must be getting, all the crores and crores, millions and millions of armies who are really eager to go on this battle and accomplish the task of Rama. They're growing restless, and Rama himself is going restless. He is getting angry because time is running by and no signs of Samudra Deva. So after 3 days, he got up, he took his bow, he took a very powerful arrow from the quiver and he set it on the bow and he released it all the way back and he said, I prayed for you for 3 days. I gave you the due respect that you deserved. But you didn't show that sign of respect, mutual respect to me back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my power now. I can dry this entire ocean with one arrow, and that is how strong I am. In the battle, nobody can stand in front of me. That is the strength that I possess. That is the gifts that I got from my gurus, Agastya, Vishwamitra, Vasishtha. The arrows that I have, they are capable of accomplishing any task. You are nothing in front of me and what I have in my quiver of arrows that I have. So I'm going to release this arrow which will dry up your entire water, which is your pride. That is why you're so arrogant. That is why you didn't want to come and talk to me. As he released the arrow back, Samudra Deva, he immediately emerged out of the waters. Because it is true, whatever Rama said is true. He will dry out every drop of water in that ocean. He is capable of doing that. That is the power of Rama. That is the power of all the arrows he got from the great gurus. So he got up, he folded his hands and he said, Great Rama, do not do this. I did not come in front of you because I didn't have a solution for you. So I am water. By nature, I am supposed to flow. I cannot separate, I cannot divide, I cannot be in parts. I always flow. So I don't know what to offer to you. What I can suggest is build a bridge on top of me. You have the great son of Vishwakarma, who is the chief architect of all the gods. His name is Nala. He is in your team and he possesses the same architectural skills as his dad Vishwakarma. As him as the engineer, put him as the engineer, chief architect, and build a bridge. Big bridge. What I will do is whatever you put on top of the water to build this bridge, I will allow those things to float on me instead of getting submerged. What happens normally if you throw a stone or if you throw a rock, it will submerge into the water, right? But because of the blessing of the ocean god, he said, instead of letting it submerge, I will let it float. So build that bridge and you can walk on the bridge and all your armies can cross across the ocean and across me. So Rama really liked that idea. He looked at Nala and he said, yeah, it can be done. I will be able to do it. Then he said, great, thank you very much for the great advice, but you are a minute late. Once I take out my arrow and once I put it on the bow, there is no taking back. It has to go somewhere. Tell me where to aim this arrow and what to accomplish with this arrow. If I don't put it on you, I have to put this somewhere else. Since you helped me, I don't intend to punish you anymore. So give me a place where to put this. Then he said, a little north from here, there is a big mountain. There are a lot of communities there, and there is a very bad clan of people, demons that are disturbing people. They are robbers and they torture people, normal people, and they steal things from them and they punish them for unnecessary things. So you can aim this arrow at them and destroy that community of robbers so that all the people in that area can live happily. So he immediately chanted the slokam related to that astra and he released it towards the direction that Samudradeva gave. And it immediately went into that area. It handpicked all the robbers, all the community of the bad guys there, and it killed all of them. So that is the difference between the Shastra and Astra. We keep talking about the difference, right? Astra, it's like a nuclear missile. You enter the code and you say, okay, go travel this much distance and do this, accomplish. It's like a missile, right? So it does that task and it does it without the physical supervision there. Whereas a Shastra, it is like a physical sword or a mace. People have to hit with it. Physical battle, wrestling. So that is the Astra that Rama released and he accomplished the task that Samudradeva gave. So after that, everybody was very happy. Lakshmana was very happy. Sugriva was very happy. Nala was all excited. He is the architect of and he is assigned the task of building the great bridge from across the ocean from this side to that side. So they all started the task of the building the bridge. All the armies, they went into the forest, they're going up and down, they're bringing big boulders, they're bringing big trees, they're uprooting the trees so that they can throw on the water and they'll float and it'll form a bridge so that they can step on them and walk to the other side. So they're all very enthusiastic. They're saying the name of Rama, Hanuman, Sugriva, and they're enthusiastically doing the great task. So how long is this bridge? It is said that the water between the two areas, the Lanka and this side of the water, is 100 yojanas. Yojana being 8 miles. So 100 yojanas is about 800 miles. So to give you a perspective, it is a distance, approximately the distance between Delhi and Bombay. So in US, it is a distance from between Florida and Texas. So if you go travel on a car, if you go by driving, it takes about 20 hours to cross that area. But taking breaks and going in a normal speed, it takes about 15 to 20 hours to cross that distance. So they have to build a bridge that long. But there are a lot of armies that are very strong, very enthusiastic. So they brought all the things that they could from the nearby places, and in 5 days, in parts, first day they built 14 miles, next day 14 yojanas, next day they built 20, 24, 25, like that. They built for 5 days, and they successfully completed building the entire bridge in 5 days. The great Nala Setu, it is called. Setu means bridge, and since the chief architect is Nala, it is called Nala Setu. So that bridge is complete, and the armies of Rama, along with Lakshmana, Hanuman, Sugriva, they all happily jumped on that bridge and they crossed the ocean. In no time, they were all the crores, millions and millions and millions of monkeys, bears, along with Rama, Lakshmana, Sugriva, Jambavan, all the great leaders, Nala, Nila, Angad, all of them crossed the ocean and they reached the other side of the ocean. What is on the other side of the ocean? Lanka. So they successfully reached the city of Lanka. So now it's just a matter of challenging Ravana and getting the battle started. So at this great place where they successfully built the bridge and happily crossed the bridge, we're going to stop the story here and we're going to continue from this point next week, same time, in our next session. So that is the story segment of the session. Now we are going to move to the Hanuman Chalisa segment. Moksha, is that you who wanted to volunteer to lead the recital this week?
No, sir, I'm going to do it next week.
Sorry?
I will do it next week, sir.
No worries. Surya Tejas and Jay Shreyas, please unmute yourself and you're going to lead the recital. Charana Sarojaraja Nijamanamukura Sudari Varanau Raghuvara Vimalayasha Jodayaka Falachari Buddhihina Tanujanike Sumirau Pavana Kumara Balabhuti Vidyade Mohi Harahu Kalesha Vikara Jai Hanuman Jnana Guna Sagar Jidai Kapisha Tirloka Ujagara Ramadruta Atulita Baladama Anjani Putra Pavana Sutanama Mahavira Vikarama Bhajarangi Kumathanivara Sumati Ke Sangi Kanchana Varana Suma Viraja Suvesha Kanana Kundala Kunchita Kesha Hata Vajra Udvaja Viraje Kande Munja Jane Bhusaje Shankara Shuvana Keshari Nandana Teja Pratapa Mahajava Vandana Vidyavana Guni Ati Chatura Ramakaja Kariveko Atura Prabhu Charitra Suniveko Rasya Ramalakana Sita Manapasya Sukshma Rupa Darisya Hidikava Vikata Rupa Darilanka Jarava Bhima Rupa Daryasura Samhare Ramachandra Ke Path Savare Lai Sanjeevana Lakana Jiyare Shri Raghuvira Hara Shura Lare Raghupati Kini Mohata Baraye Tuma Mama Priya Bharata Hi Samabare Sahasravadana Tumaro Yashagave Asakahi Shripati Kanda Lagave Sanakadika Brahmadi Munisha Narada Sarada Sahita Aisha Yama Kubera Vikapala Jahate
कवि कोविद कर सके कहाते, तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीना, राम मिलाय राजपद दीना। तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। युग सहस्र योजन पर भानु, निर्योताहि मधुर फल जानु। मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि, जल दिलांगी गय अचर जनाहि। दुर्गम कार्य जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते। राम द्वारे तुम रखवारे, होतन आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी शरण, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज समारो आपे, तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। हसे रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। संतन से हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर नाम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों युग भरताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे।
अष्टसिद्धिनौनिधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा,
सदा रहो
रघुपति के दासा।
तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुवरपुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्तन धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूटहि बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साकी गौरीशा। तुलसीदास सदा हरिचेरा, कीजे नाथ हृदय महदेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरण, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसव सुर भूप। श्याम रामचंद्र की
जय।
हनुमान की
Jai. Thank you. Excellent job, Surya Tejas and Jay Shreyas. Thank you for leading our recital. Anyone else interested in leading the recital, please send me an email and I will put your name down for that. And you don't have to worry. I will help you if and when needed during the recital. And if you want to practice, download the app Stotra Sagar. All the lessons and the text along with the meanings is given there. You can go lesson after lesson and get comfortable with each and every word, and then you can lead the recital in the coming weeks. With that, we will conclude the Hanuman Chalisa segment also of this session. In the last segment, the Mangala Shasanam, which is the best wishes to everyone. Please sing along with me. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Excellent work. Let's conclude our session here. If you have any questions, you can hang back and I will try to answer your questions. If not, you're free to leave now. I will see you all next week, same time. Sarvam Sri Krishnarpanamastu. Hari Om. Be good, do good.
Hari Om, sir.
Hari Om.
Bye, sir.
Bye. Hari Om.
Hari Om, sir.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, sir.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Bye. Hari Om. Hari Om. Anybody has any questions?
Sir, I have a doubt.
Go ahead.
Sir, what is the name of the 7th chapter?
7th chapter, it's not in our this thing. We are not going to do a 7th chapter. We're going to conclude with the Yudha Kanda when they return back, and we are going to move to Bhagavatam from there.
Sir, I forgot, sir. I'm just asking. You made us learn all of the chapters. I forgot the 7th chapter's name, sir. Can you tell it? What is the Kanda, sir?
Okay. Let me send it to you. Who is this?
Srirama, sir.
Sridhar. I'll send that information to you. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Anybody else? Any questions? Where are you?
Sir, I have it.
Where is the Zoom?
So, sir, in the picture when they were making the bridge, some stones were written with the name of Rama.
Yeah, it's in the picture that way. It's not in Valmiki Ramayanam that they wrote Rama on top of each of the stones. So in the picture